Hi, welcome back. In this video, we'll discuss some numerical based on the vapor compression refrigeration cycle. This comes under the refrigeration cycle module of 4 in applied thermodynamics. The problem for today's discussion is this. The problem states like this: 28 tons of ice from and at 0 degree centigrade is produced per day in an ammonia refrigerator. The temperature range in the compressor is from 25 degrees centigrade to minus 15 degrees centigrade. The vapor is dry and saturated at the end of the compression. They are clearly given the quality of the steam at the end of the compressions process, and an expansion valve is used for the expansion process. Assuming COP of 62 percentage of the theoretical, calculate the power required to drive the compressor. And they have also given the value of enthalpy and as well as entropy for the given temperature range minus 15 and 25 degrees centigrade. If they are not given, we can easily take these values from the steam tables. Since they are given, our job is reduced. It's need not worry about the steam table availability or not. Then they have also given latent heat of ice as 335 kilojoules per kilogram. The solution is something like this. This is the TS diagram for the given problem, and the quality of the steam at the end of the compression process is given as uh, dry and saturated. That means the point 3 always lies exactly at the saturation line of the TS diagram. For this quality, the TS diagram looks alike, like this. And the four processes mentioned here and shaded region are representing the refrigeration effort as well as the work input. The theoretical COP, we know that as per the formula which we have derived in the previous video, for the quality of the steam at the end of the compression as superheated steam, not superheated, sorry, a dry and saturated steam, it is like this: H2 minus H1 divided by H3 minus H2. H3 value we can take it from the table which is given at the for the temperature 25 degrees centigrade. H1 is equal to H4 because the expansion process follows isothermic process. Therefore, H4 is almost equal to HF4, and that given as 100.04 kilojoules per kilogram. These two values we can take it from the table which was given in the problem itself. Now, to find the enthalpy at the state 2, that is the starting of the compression, we need to equate the entropy at the state 2 and entropy at state 3 because it's a 2 to 3 is a compression process and it follows isentropic process. For an isentropic process, entropy remains constant. Because of that, entropy at the state 2, that is the initial state, as well as the state 3, that is the exit state of the compression process, is equal. When we try to equate this, we get the formulas like this. SF2 plus, entropy at 2 is nothing but is F2. F represents fluid, it's a wet steam, and 2 represents the state. And X2 is a dryness fraction, and SFG2 is equal to SG3. SG3 is represents the entropy at the state 3. In this, we know all the value. We can take it from the steam table except the unknown, that is dryness fraction. So substitute all the known value, and we can easily calculate the unknown value of x2 as 0.92. That is 92 percentage dryness. The is the quality of the steam at the starting of the compression. Then since we know that, we can also equate H2 is nothing but HF2 plus X2 into HFG2. HFG2 is not given in the table, so we can take it easily by differentiating between the HG and HF. We get HFG2. So all the values are available, including all the values are known, including the drainage fraction. So it is easy for us to substitute all the value and get the value of H2. So H2 we get 1196.23 kilojoules per kilogram. So we know that all the values of H1, H2, H3. So it is easy for us to calculate the COP. The COP for theoretical COP, sorry, the theoretical COP for the given problem we can write in the previous formula. Formula is something like that: H2 minus H1 divided by H3 minus H2. Substitute all the known value, we get COP as 8.91. And the actual COP, we know that it is 0.62. The relative COP is given as 62 percentage. So relative COP is nothing but actual ratio of the actual COP to the theoretical COP. So we know that COP, relative COP is in value, we know that it is 0.62, and COP of theoretical COP we have calculated in the previous slide 8 as 8.91. Substitute these two values, we get COP of actual as 5.52. Actual refrigerating effect per kilogram we need to calculate. That we can easily calculate by the relation of COP to the refrigerating effect. That actual relation says that COP is the is the ratio between the refrigerating effect and the work done. Work done is nothing but the no, process. It is happening between the process 2 and 3, or the process of compression. So order we can define as H3 minus H2, and COP of actual is 5.52. So in this we know all the values including H3, H2. Substitute all the value here, we get the actual refrigerating effect per kg as 678.9 kilojoules per kilogram. And the heat to be extracted per hour, we can easily calculate it by the formula ton of refrigeration. Uh, uh, Ton of refrigeration, a relation says that 1 ton of refrigeration is almost equal to 14,000 kilojoules per hour. Then, if we multiply it by the 28, we get this much value: 390,833.33 kilojoules. And heat to be extracted per second, this is per hour. To calculate for second, we need to divide by 3600, we get 108.56 kilojoules per second, or kilowatt, 108.56 kilowatt. The mass of refrigerant circulated per second, that mass flow rate we can calculate. It is kilojoules, no, not 8.656 divided by 678.9. 678.9 is nothing but actual refrigerating effect per kg. So if we do mathematical calculation of this, we get 0.1599 as the mass of refrigerant which circulated inside the cycle per second. And the total work done by the compressor per second we can calculate by the relation. And per kg, we know that this is per kg multiplied by the difference between the enthalpy in the process of compression, that is between the state 2 and 3. So we get the total work done by the compressor as 19.67 kilojoules per second, or 19.67 kilowatt. This is how we need to solve the problem. It looks very simple. Now, when I try to explain, it looks very complicated. But if you understand the concept of basic thermodynamics, or if you are well versed with the basic thermodynamic concept, it is easy for you to solve this problem. And again, I am suggesting this is one of the best way to score maximum mark in the exam. That's it, guys. With this, we close this video. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, bye bye. Take care.